What I would say is, if that does not get you pumped up, I don't know what can get you pumped up under the sun. Because we are so blessed as Christians, as Catholics, to be able to live the joy of the life of the Magi. What was the life of the Magi? It was one of longing and anticipation to come before our God and to give him homage, worship, and praise. What we just heard sung to us is occasion after occasion after occasion that we get to anticipate when we will come to give our God worship. Worship. What is the most essential activity that takes place underneath the sun in all of the world? And there's many activities. Think of, we go to work, we go to play, we go to interact, to be together. These are all essential, but not quite most essential. There is no more greater activity for the human person than to give our God homage and worship. That is the joy that the Magi had. Think of this. Well, I think of two questions coming here to this scene of the Magi. Causes me to reflect specifically on worship in this activity. One, what sort of distance am I ready to go? What sort of distance am I ready to traverse to be able to worship? The second would be, what do I bring? What do I bring to worship? Now, first, just these couple notes, and it's so rich for us to reflect on. But first, these Magi. Think of this. After their audience with the king, they set out. They're longing, they're anticipating. Like us as Christians, we long and we anticipate for when we will worship. That's like what drives our whole life. The week leading up to the summit of the Sunday Mass and all our feast days. But so they leave, they set out, they're looking, watching, trying, and behold, the star that they had seen at its rising preceded them. And they are overjoyed at seeing the star. Filled with joy to go to worship. That is how I want my life to be. Filled with that joy, anticipating above all, the Holy Mass, coming to the church for the Holy Mass. And then second, so we need to ask, how far am I willing to traverse? And do I traverse with joy? Because we can have hang-ups on different things, and it can be tough. On this past year, many hang-ups. To traverse like the Magi with joy. Next, I know myself and the sort of attitude that can be become, I have it so often of what can I get? What can I get? We'll sometimes even think of that with church. You know, what did I get? Worship, we find here from the Magi. It's about what can I give? What can I bring? What can I place before the altar? And that's why I love here this feast, the Epiphany, and we have it visually, with the gold, the frankincense, and the myrrh. And I was just considering and thinking, with the gold, it's like, what do I treasure in life? And am I ready to bring that and put it before the altar? Maybe it's my family. Maybe it's, great leisure activities. Can I place that for our God? And then we have the frankincense. That's like the priestly incense, the smoke that rises. What do I most beg God for? Do I have a relative I'm praying for? Neighbors I'm praying for? Do I ask for some prayers? That's like putting those up there. And then finally, and the best time to do this used to be when we passed the collection basket. We don't pass that now, but you see it walk forward. Just in our mind, God, here's something valuable. Here's a prayer. You just think it in our mind. And then finally, I think that myrrh. The myrrh was what they embalm the body with. So it's kind of like a suffering. What sort of sufferings have I had this last week? Most weeks are pretty tough. They're pretty tough. But that's why it can kind of be a joy and a lightness of coming to the Mass, because it's like, I need to unload my suffering. Rough week at work, or, with family or whatever. God, I leave that here with you. What a joy and a gift, this feast day, and to have our lives reflect the lives of the Magi, who were willing to go the distance and ready to give.